Hey, earlier this week, I was working with a client and we were talking about metrics. And they're starting their reliability journey. He did read my book and he started to propose some metrics to track to measure success. And he was looking at the standard ones. He said, hey, I want to look at PM compliance, unscheduled work, planned work, PDM compliance, some wrench time things, really just the standard things. And page 1, chapter 1 of a reliability and maintenance planning playbook. And he was asking what I thought of that. And in the conversation, I said, well, you read my book, right? He said, yeah. And I said, you start with observation. It's almost impossible for me to say, hey, these are the right metrics to choose. Those are what everybody chooses, but those, are they the right ones that's going to drive behavior? And through the conversation, what I, evolved to talking to the individual about was, hey, if you're just going to measure PM compliance, you're going after 100 assets, 200 assets, and you're trying to fix everything. And what you find out is that impact results come from, doing a few things well. It's Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule. A lot of people have heard of that you get 80% of your results from 20% of your effort. So what I talked to this individual about, let's call him Jim, is don't just measure PM compliance. Let's go down a level deeper. Which assets are causing you problems? Say you've listed these 5 assets that are, it's asset number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the ones causing you problems, and you're really doing okay on assets, 6 through 20. Well, why not measure PM compliance on those assets and do a perfect job by focusing on those assets, so when you make an improvement, you can notice it. If you try to improve everything, you actually improve nothing. And you'll talk about driving change next week, next month. So focus, okay? So instead of measuring PM compliance, measure PM compliance on your more critical assets. Now, if you want to get real fancy with this, and this is what I definitely recommend, is do a criticality analysis. Look at severity of a problem on an asset and the probability of a problem. Very simple formula for, say, rate them 1 through 5. Criticality, say a 25 is worst case. So that means it has a probability of 5 and a severity of 5. The plant shuts down or there's a safety issue with it. So there's a lot of information out there on criticality analysis. So look that up if you want to use that method, which I strongly encourage. But that's the point of this video, is focus. You may look at, from your observation, you may recognize that lube failure is just a huge problem in your plant. We got a lot of rotating equipment. We always have a lube problem with an asset. Hey, measure PM compliance on your lubes, okay? So what I'm saying is, don't focus totally on PM compliance, which that's a great place to end up, but start with PM compliance on lubrication. Start on PM compliance on your critical assets. Start smaller. That 20% effort you give here will give you 80% of your result. So that's Pareto's principle, is focus. One of the biggest problems I see with maintenance managers, reliability efforts, is that they're trying to fix everything. And you ask them how they're doing on reliability, and they show you 60 slides, 60 KPIs, 60, different things they're working. And I'm throwing out that number 60 because I did see that once. It's focus that makes the difference. I remember at one plant, you've heard this on a lot of my earlier videos, we focused on lubrication and we focused on motor management. Okay, those were 2 things that were just killing us, and that was our start. We expanded that, into other areas. Kitting and staging was a huge one, that we were focusing on with wrench time. But all the 500 levers you can do to improve wrench time, we focused on kitting and staging, having the right tools, equipment, parts, and instruction. See my cat? All in preparation to have wrench time as high as possible. So we focused. That's the key message today, is focus your actions on the 20%, the few that are going to drive you to get major, major results. Thank you.